defensive play Dax made to set that up after the play out of the timeout didn't go so well. Just normal press Virginia hustle there to get back and stop it.
The one in the paint, JC got a hand on it. JC got a hand on it, kind of knocked. Dax picks up the loose ball, but JC made the play. We tell them every day, if you stick by your principles and do what we're supposed to do, we're going to make plays. The whole thing is designed to make plays defensively, but when you don't stick to your principles, and then everybody gets frustrated, because if you got one guy out there not doing what he's supposed to do, it affects everybody else.
What is it about Chase in practice, his preparation, that allows him to come in a game like this when Teddy was in foul trouble? Like, Chase gave you guys a lift in some different areas. What does he do to stay ready?
When it comes to practice, and practice is hard. I'm just not, I learned, I knew already, but it really hit me when we lost to Stephen F. Austin. We weren't ready to play. We had terrible practices. Guys were not doing the basic things that we teach and which we had taught them for some of them 3 years. And then we go in there and lose that game, and I just said, you know what, if we're going to lose one, let's lose one this time, make sure they understand. And it's not I left Elijah home last year. You got to come in and practice. You got to fulfill your responsibility to your teammates. And when you don't do that, you shouldn't play. The reward is playing time. And it's like I told you guys, whatever it was last game. I don't dictate playing time. They do. I don't dictate it. They dictate it by their practice habits. And Chase's practiced well, and then quite honestly, we're hoping he can make a shot, because we were struggling to make a shot.
This game obviously was a lot different style than the Oklahoma game the other night, and there's going to be a lot of different styles in the Big 12, as you know. What kind of adjustments did your players have to make throughout this game?
Well, quite frankly, neither team shot the ball very well, and when that happens, it's kind of an ugly game. I think both teams are capable of scoring the ball. Both of us had bad games. You gotta grind it out, Justin. I felt pretty good at the end. I thought, our seniors were going to keep the ball in our seniors' hands and they would go make free throws. Unfortunately, they didn't make them the way they've made them in the past. But Sykes makes a huge play. So you got to contribute. That's what it is. You got to somebody has to make a play when it counts, and it doesn't have to be the same guy all the time.
How difficult is it with so many stoppages in play and
it's hard.
So long?
It's hard. You want them to get it right, but we get standing around so much, And Bob, all that's not their fault. This whole deal that we got going on with whoever's doing it, whether it's the rules committee or somebody, working in conjunction with the rules committee, it's made the game really, it's made it so much harder, and it's made it impossible to officiate. It's impossible. It's impossible to do what they ask you to do.
Bob Baylor's last play, I don't know if it's a family patent or what, but obviously his dad and brother ran that.
Well, I'm just glad his brother didn't shoot it.
Well, that's what he said. But did you sort of have an inkling of what they're doing, or you just play it on the fly?
We were going to try to make them catch it in front of us. We didn't do a very good job, obviously. But I thought we got to them and put some pressure on them, and I'd rather do that than foul them and take the chance that they go make 2 free throws, and then we go, now we got to go to the free throw line again. What do you gain? We're up 3. The worst we can do is tie. If it was 2, I don't know, might be a different story. But I've got a lot of confidence in our defense. So I kind of let it roll with our defense. We were talking about going zone, you know, and a couple of the assistants wanted to go zone, and I just got the guys over and I said, "What do you want to do?" And they said, "No, Coach, let's guard them. Do you want to go zone? No, let's guard them." Beetle made a big play, took a big charge.
Obviously, you get Issa back next game. Fair expectations for what kind of impact he can make right away, or what do you think?
He's played well in practice, is all I know, Justin. I mean, I would assume he would. He made an impact a year ago. I would assume he would again. I worry about his conditioning, but he's practiced with us. You know, he really hasn't practiced with the guys who play the most. He's played against those guys, but the thing I've always liked about Issa is he knows how to play. So it won't. I mean, he may not be at the top of his game come Saturday, but it won't be long after that he will be.
I'm guessing it'll probably be.
Well, he's the best rebounding small forward in our league. Not even close.
On the previous question where you said the players told you that they wanted to play man, is that a frequent or infrequent thing where they can't overrule, but you would let them overrule maybe what the coaches were thinking?
Well, I was hoping that's what they'd say, because I was thinking stay man. But you know how it is. You ask a question in a way that you're probably going to get the answer that you want. But I think they wanted the challenge of stopping them, which they had a hard time getting a good shot.
When you say they've made the game impossible to officiate, when you say they've made it impossible to officiate, what do you mean?
Do you know what the cylinder is? Do you have any idea what cylinder is?
Defensive cylinder?
It's invisible. It's invisible, so it's hard to see. You can't see it. It's. I mean, if you reach in and foul a guy, it's a foul. Why do you need it? Why do you need an invisible cylinder that goes from here to infinity? Is what they say. Sachs jumps pretty good. I doubt he jumped to infinity. You know. And you know like you're allowed to. If a guy turns his back on you, you're allowed to get as close as you want. But now if he turns around and hits you, the foul's on him because he's in the cylinder, because now the guy's turned around. Come on. I mean, now you tell me that's not hard? It's hard. It's a hard game to start with, and we've made it so much harder. So much harder. And there isn't an official out there that wouldn't tell you that.
Well, if you talk about your players wanting the challenge, or players wanting the challenge, tonight, Javon's got one basket all night. We get down to needing one, and he's the guy that gets it. Also, same thing with Kanante. He's going up against a 7-footer. He winds up blocking 7 shots, grabbing, I don't know how many rebounds, but it was a bunch. What does it take to answer challenges like that?
Well, Sachs has just continued to get better and better and better. JC puts an enormous amount of work in. I mean, he really does. He puts an enormous amount of work in. I thought he could have got more and better shots. You know, he played sideways too much, instead of playing straight line and things. So we're going to have to work on that. But nobody had any problem with him taking that shot, that's for sure.
Even with him, I think he's made like 4 threes in the last 5 games or something like that.
Well, Tommy Crean came in and said, "Your guy's unbelievable." I said, "What are you talking about?" He said, and Tom came in, and I don't know what time it was, I forget. He said, but he said he was in a Coliseum for like an hour and 45 minutes getting shots. And he said then he left and he went over to the practice facility and he shot some more. And then before the game started, he's the first guy in there shooting shots. That's the guy I want to trust. I don't want to trust some guy who's walking around in practice and never gets in the gym, That's funny, man. You know, it's like they tell me, they're like, Coach, you don't understand. I've been in the gym. I said, you don't understand. You think the managers don't tell me what's going on? Because they rebound for them.
Coach, you were talking about Beadle, and he's obviously kind of taken on a unique role. I'm guessing he leads your team. Charges taken. Did he draw a short straw on that, or how did he kind of fit his way into that, being the size and everything?
That's a way for him to contribute, I think. And just not tell him all the time, man, listen, I'm not controlling your playing time. You are. So if you do things to help us, obviously we're going to play you. If you don't bring anything to the table, why would I play you? You know, and it's not. See, I just think that we're in this era of individual rights. You know, I mean, it is. You're a part of a team. When you're part of a team, there's other people who depend on you. And see, I've always been taught your rights stop where other people's begin. You know, so I just don't get that. You know, I don't. And so I tell them, you know, contribute, man. If you contribute, we're going. I mean, if Chase had come in and hadn't played very well, he wouldn't have got back in. But he did, so he got back in. That's the way it works. But isn't that the real world? Isn't that the real world? I mean,